this is your girl, Coach Cailah. For those of you that are my professional clientele, hello. And welcome to Coach Cailah TV episode, I'm not sure. All right, I just wanted to do, I had a song on my heart today. I wanted to write an ebook titled How to Cure or Rid Yourself of Type 2 Diabetes. But I didn't feel like writing that much, so decided to do a video. Please excuse the audio. I am recording with a microphone while driving, so it's raining. You get all that, all right? But again, you guys know that my goal is to help rid our community of excusable diseases, of what I call lifestyle diseases. Type 2 diabetes is built off or stems from a strain or a string of bad choices. It's how we live, and it's the result of how we live. That's what a lot of people don't realize, or worse, accept. Okay? Now, type 1 diabetes is a whole different monster. Type 1 diabetes is where our bodies do not function the proper way, meaning our pancreas, it does not secrete insulin at the proper timing nor the proper level, okay? Because it does not have enough to secrete. But type 2 diabetes, again, is a lifestyle choice. If you right now are living with type 2 diabetes, yes, I am very frank, that is your choice. It is built from how we have decided to live year on and year on and year on, and our bodies can no longer handle taking care of us. And so then we start to see these small tears or these small breakdowns in how our bodies function. And one of those stems as type 2 diabetes, okay? Now, this is what I'll share with you, kind of what I mean by that, all right? So type 2 diabetes, part one, what is it, okay? Type 2 diabetes is an issue where blood glucose can no longer efficiently or effectively be shuttled from the blood to the cells to be used as energy. All right, glucose is a form of energy. Now I'm going to give you a scenario, okay? Now, when you eat food, that food is going to be broken down into one of four nutrients. That is carbs, fats, proteins, and alcohol. One of four things. Everything is broken down into one of those categories, okay? Now, carbohydrates are the most insulinogenic, meaning that when you eat carbs, it will spike your insulin the absolute highest. Next is proteins, and the very smallest is going to be fat. Honestly, I'm not sure about how insulinogenic alcohol is, so I'll leave that part out. I'll post it somewhere when I figure it out, okay? But we know that when you eat carbs, it spikes your insulin. But also, when you eat carbs, carbs will shoot your blood glucose the absolute highest, okay? Carbohydrates will shoot your blood glucose the absolute highest. Now, this is how your body works. When you consume food, glucose, which is the result of carbohydrates, floods your bloodstream. Glucose is a form of energy. Your body is not dumb, all right? God is not dumb. He created your body perfectly. So what happens is, if you are not at the point where you need to use that glucose right then and there, your body will say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be smart. I'm going to store this for use later. So insulin is then secreted by the pancreas because an alarm goes off that says, ding, 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 we've got extra energy. We can use this at some point in time. So insulin is secreted from pancreas. Insulin goes to the bloodstream, and it starts to take glucose from the bloodstream and shuttle it into cells, right? That's how the body works properly. Now, when it shuttles it into the muscle cell, let's say there's too much there. It can't go into muscle because there's too much stored. Then it shuttles it into the liver cell. If there's too much there, then it can't be stored in the liver cell. Following, it shuttles it into fat cells. And then fat cells begin to grow and begin to spread because your fat, if you've ever seen the show My 600-Pound Life, it's a great example. There is no stopping point to the storage of fats, right? Nor the storage of carbohydrates as fat, okay? So as our fat cells begin to grow and multiply, amplify, and spread, then it starts to clog our cells, right? Because there are some times where our cells will need energy at that time and it can be used. So insulin, what it does, insulin is the key that unlocks the door, the cell door, to open it and for glucose to go through the cell door itself. Now, if There's too much fat around the cell door. Now again, this takes years. It does. It takes years to build up and to clog up. If there's too much fat around the keyhole of the cell door, insulin can't always get through the way it is supposed to. That is when our blood glucose continues to rise. But if you notice, it took years for us to figure out, or for doctors to see, or for our blood glucose levels to show such high numbers that it becomes alarming. But just because an alarm is rung at the point where our body is well beyond what it should be, does not mean that that is the point of diabetes. It means that it happens beforehand. It means that it's gone through years and years and years of us constantly consuming too many carbohydrates, and that carbohydrates constantly being, or those carbohydrates constantly being stored as excess fat, and that fat again growing and multiplying and clogging up other areas. That is what type 2 diabetes is, where the body can no longer shuttle glucose effectively or efficiently into the cell because there's too much fat around the cell, right? That is the hamster wheel of diabetes. Now, how do we cure ourselves, or how do we rid ourselves of type 2 diabetes? Since Coach Cailah is saying that it's my choice, saying that it is my lifestyle habits that have caused it. Well, Coach Cailah is going to tell you, you can reverse it. You can reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, let's work backwards, okay? If the issue is that there's too much fat around the cell doors for insulin to actually shuttle the glucose that I do eat, the carbs that I do consume, into the body, into the muscle, into the liver, into whatever cell for energy, that means that number one, I need to start reducing myself of fat, okay? I need to start losing weight. Yes, we know that. I'm sure your doctor has told you, go lose weight, right? But let's say I go work out. I work out 3 times a week. I'm going to walk 2 miles on a treadmill. I'm going to take a Zumba class. I'm going to take yoga. Okay, cool. You work out 3 times a week. You walk for 2 miles, which is about 30 minutes, right? And then you take an hour yoga or Zumba class. So you work out for an hour and a half, 3 times a week. Hour and a half, 3 hours, right? 4.5 hours. For the entire 7-day week. Now let's look at time ratio. 4 hours versus all the hours in your week. Do you think that's enough? No, it's not enough. I'll be honest with you, it's not enough, okay? Also, if you look at, all right, I'm working out for 4 hours, but I eat 3 to 5 or even 6 times a day. Is that enough? No, that's not enough. But also, icing on top of the cake, what I eat is still the same thing or the same way I've been eating in the past that has caused me this diabetic issue, okay? So, yes, we need to start to exercise more to lose fat. But we also need to change our nutrition. If the onset of type 2 diabetes is too much glucose, where the body has to correct for glucose, then maybe I should stop eating so much glucose. Maybe I should stop eating so many carbohydrates or things that'll cause my body to have to shuttle insulin, or produce insulin to shuttle the glucose. So the easiest way to rid yourself of type 2 diabetes, I'm going to give you that kind of step-by-step right here. What I do with all of my clients, you're getting free intel, okay? Again, part 1, we have to exercise more, and that exercise has to be more than 3 days a week, minimum 4 days a week, all right? But we want that exercise to be targeted towards fat loss, towards cardiovascular endurance, and my favorite, resistance training, okay? That's how you exercise. Yes, you can do low intensity exercises, right? Low intensity exercises like walking, it will take you longer to lose weight because it is not as metabolically expensive as let's say high intensity exercises, meaning that it does not take as much energy to walk as it does to jog or to sprint or to do jump rope or to do something that's going to get your body sweating. So we have to be intelligent. We need to choose more metabolically expensive exercises to participate in versus just walking. That will allow us to burn more fat because our bodies require more energy. Our bodies require more energy to actually burn that fat, okay? So do higher intensity exercises. I'm not saying go do Olympic lifting. I'm not saying go run a marathon. If you can, do it. But point is, do more high intensity exercises to start off, all right? Now, point 2, I've mentioned resistance training. I'm not talking about lifting 2 pounds, 3 pounds, or 4 pounds. I'm talking about go lift. The hardest thing is that a lot of people, they don't know what to do or how much to do, okay? You guys know I'm a personal trainer. You know I run an online nutrition and coaching program. I can help you with that, right? If you don't want my help, that's okay. Go lift heavy shit. I've said that before. Go lift weights. What that does is it causes your body to change a lot faster than just cardiovascular exercise to do, right? Meaning that when your muscles are more active, your muscles are going to cause or take longer to repair than does just cardio. So if I just did some good cardio, some high intensity exercise, and for someone else, for me, that might be doing a sprinting intervals, right? On the treadmill, on the track, or whatever. For you, it might be walking at an incline, good speed walk. My high intensity may not be your high intensity, but as long as you are getting a high intensity for you, then that is what your body needs, okay? But again, resistance training, it causes your body to continually burn energy after you've left the gym. So this is how we become smart. If we know that 4 times a week or 3 times a week is not enough, how do we extend the time in the gym or the time my body has to recover? And that is done by resistance training. You gotta resistance train, okay? The next thing is with the nutrition. You have to lower your carbohydrates, right? Now, you probably are smart enough to tell that fast food is not the way to go, right? You're probably smart enough to tell yourself that, hey, me eating pastas is not it, right? Or me doing a lot of bread is not it. That you're probably past that level. If you're following me, you're more intelligent than that. But one thing I will tell you is that pastas, breads, grain cereals are not the only carbohydrates. Now, if you wake up in the morning, you get a fruit smoothie, right? You've got, let's say some spinach, you got banana, you've got mango, you've got pineapple in there. Yeah, sounds healthy. It's still carbohydrates, right? Yes, there are there are nutrients in fruit, okay? But is the cost of nutrients worth the cost of glucose or worth the insulin spike that you're going to receive? Think about that. Is the cost of nutrients worth the cost of the glucose or insulin spike that's going to happen when you consume it? That's where I need you to be, okay? Now, can you take a multivitamin? Yes, you can. Can you get those same nutrients elsewhere? Yes, you can. So the thing is stop eating fruit smoothies first thing in the morning. Right? You can do it maybe after your workout if you need to, but stop doing it first thing in the morning because that will cause an immediate glucose spike, therefore an immediate insulin spike. Therefore, we're back to type 2 diabetes, okay? So stop doing fruit smoothies. Start to eat carbohydrates that your body needs, more fiber-dense foods, more veggies, less fruit, okay? Coach Cailah said it, more veggies, less fruit. So if I'm doing cardiovascular endurance, right, or if I'm doing HIIT training, if I am resistance training, my body is now still trying to recover, and which is more metabolically expensive. Therefore, my body is still burning energy. Okay, and on top of that, if I reduce my carbohydrates, now my body is going to burn more fat during my exercises, and while I'm recovering post-exercise. And throughout the entire day, since I am going to be outside of the gym more than I'm going to be in the gym, since I'm going to be eating more often than I will be exercising, now I've created a situation where my body is on the right track to healing itself, okay? So Coach Cailah's easy ways as to rid yourself of type 2 diabetes is number 1, higher for you, right? High intensity interval training, okay? Meaning do bouts of hard, fast work and bouts of rest. Back to back to back. At least 4 bouts of 3 to 4 exercises minimum, okay? 4 to 5 times a week. Now, that's for your cardiovascular endurance. I also want you to get some solid resistance training in that will help your body so much in the long run. Some solid resistance training in. Lift heavy shit, okay? Heavy shit for you, okay? Lift heavy shit. That's number 2. And number 3 is lower your carbohydrate intake. Please lower your carb intake. Yes, fruit is better than pasta, but at the end of the day, they have the same result on your body. They have the same result on your glucose, the same result on your insulin. So lower your overall carbohydrates to more veggies. More veggies than you do fruit. If you're going to do fruit, do berries. Do fruits that are lower, that don't raise your glucose as much, okay? My name is Coach Cailah. I'm an elite personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I have just given you some simple and easy steps as to how to rid yourself of type 2 diabetes. If you need help, you know I am here for you. I travel the country speaking on health, wellness, and fitness. I also come directly to you on your phone or your computer, as I am now, with my online nutrition and coaching program. I would love to help you, okay? I've got a couple ebooks out. Go to my website, www.coachcailah.com, as well as for women. If you can't afford, let's say, my one-on-one or my elite coaching, I've got a ebook for you called my Women's Fitness Specialization Program, which right now is only $39.99. So go ahead, check that out, get your life started and get your life back on track. Stop intentionally living and settling for type 2 diabetes. Get rid of it with me, and I can help you. Always design your body.